Okay, hey friends, happy Monday. I really hope I'm in the right group, but I'm pretty sure I am. This is week 3, so yay, we are not even halfway done with this program yet. I know that some of y'all have texted me or Ashley and let us know that y'all are already seeing some non-scale victories, whether it be your clothes fitting a little looser or feeling more energetic. Anyways, I have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to kind of hop right in tonight. I've got my notes over here, so if you see me looking, that's what I'm looking at because I don't want to miss telling y'all anything. So, anyways, I wanted to, before I get into today's training, the faster way, and you might have already, sorry, I'm sitting at my kitchen table and the light's kind of funny, have received a text or an email about our ambassador program. So what that is basically you would sign up for it. You get your own special link, and if you have any friends or family, coworkers, anyone that's kind of been interested in what you have been doing, then you would send them your link and you get a commission back from the faster way. So it's nice because once you transition into VIP, that is, you'll have a monthly fee, and it basically covers your monthly fee. So, and it helps us reach and help more women and men. So anyways, it's a great program. If you never use it, it's fine. It's free to sign up. But like I said, if you did sign someone up, and we have rounds that start every 2 weeks, you get a commission back. So if you want any more information, get with me and Ashley, and we can send you that if you did not already receive it from corporate. So, okay, anyways, over the last few weeks, we've done prep week, started counting and tracking our water goal, and we started with macros, started calculating those in our app. Also, we have been practicing fasting, whether you're doing the 16-8, 14-10, 12-12. We've been implementing that, and we also want to focus now on hitting our macro goals within 10 grams of your set goals. So say, if your protein's at 100, 90 one way or 110 the other way. We really want y'all to start focusing. If you have to get a food scale, get a food scale so you can more accurately weigh what you're eating and consuming. So today, though, we are talking about our mindset, and we're going to talk about macros. So our mindset plays a huge part in the faster way and in life in general. So you want to have a positive mindset. You don't want to be thinking negatively, because any kind of negative thought is going to negatively affect you, your progress, your overall state. So you definitely always want to have a positive mindset. And we want to have a positive mindset towards our goal that we have. So say that be, you want to build strength or become more lean or lose X amount of pounds. If you're not thinking positively about that, then it's not going to happen. So you really want to focus on that and come into each day, with not what you did wrong from the day before, not what you could have done, but what we're going to do, because like we always say, it's progress over perfection, not the other way around. So no one's perfect. No one's ever going to be perfect. There was only one perfect person. So anyways, we can start over each day, which is nice, because this weekend I told my husband we went and ate fried catfish, and I did eat some French fries, and I was like, I never do this. I have been really strict on trying to stay within what I'm supposed to do, what I'm going to do, and sometimes that just happens. And what's nice is I just jump back in. Today I made my meals, and I'm going to set the week going. I did my workout this morning, and we're just going to start over. So anyways, also confidence is huge, and if you lack confidence, you're not going to have any kind of action. So first, I'm going to read this. First, you have to believe you can achieve your goals. You have to believe that your body is capable of change, and that you are worthy of the effort and time it takes to make that happen. So, like I said, We all make mistakes. Things happen. But we don't want to harp on those and really dwell on what we didn't do right. So anyways, I'm going to turn my page. Also, I've talked about this before. I want y'all to start sharing your victories with us, your wins. I do want to know your challenges as well, like, oh, well, I'm having a hard time hitting a certain target, but I'm doing X, Y, and Z to fix it, and then we can help you fix the problem, and we can also help cheer you on. So, with the Faster Way, what's nice is the community, and with community support, I feel that you can go farther with it and not, stuck just trying to do something by yourself. Even though you're probably at home doing the workouts, your meals, all that. But us as a group, we can cheer each other on, and the community is really what I like most about it, because, there's millions of other people also doing this program, but within this group, we can help, cheer each other on and, start posting your macros and being like, oh my gosh, I got, to 90 today out of 100, and I hadn't met that yet. And I do struggle with, sometimes hitting my macros. So when I do, I am excited, and I would like to share that with y'all. So anyways, also, we want to focus on, hitting our goals. So why did you start this program in the first place? Was it, like I said earlier, to lose weight, to build muscle? You want to really focus on your goals, write them down, because we're getting close to halfway. We're not quite halfway through, but we're getting close to halfway through, and we kind of want to have like a clear mindset of what, our goals were, and you probably already do, because you wouldn't have started if you didn't have a goal in mind. But also, we want to stick with the program. Like I said, it's easy. You open your app, everything's laid out. Today, obviously, is a HIIT workout. If you've already done the workout, it was a good one. I love HIIT workouts. Sometimes I don't, but I do like a good HIIT workout. And you want to reward yourself with, obviously Saturdays are our treat days, but you don't want to go overboard. So you want to reward yourself with something good, like a glass of wine, a piece of chocolate cake, a milkshake, something to reward yourself, but not go overboard like I did with my fried fish and french fries this weekend. Also, reminder, stay off the scale. We're looking for non-scale victories here. We can reweigh in 6 weeks, but stay off the scale for now, because it's not going to really be a true representation of any kind of body change yet. Anyone can fluctuate their weight, and sometimes if you see a pound move, you're going to freak out, say on the higher end. Then rather, if you're like losing weight, I know it's a hard thing to do because most people get on the scale every day. I was never one of them, so I knew when I was gaining weight, and I knew when I was losing weight. But my husband is someone that gets on the scale every single day, and it drives me crazy actually, because he doesn't get on at the same time, so it's not really a true representation of his actual weight. But anyways, that's beside the point. To burn fat, like I said, we need to start increasing our metabolism. Obviously, muscle weighs more than fat, and so some areas of your body are going to burn slower. So when your body composition starts to change, you may notice your pants become a little tighter at first, but don't freak out, because like I said, body composition changes happens. If you're building muscle, your jeans may not fit the same that they did. If you're losing weight here, your pants aren't going to fit the same. So anyways, we're looking, like I said, for non-scale victories. Anyways, let me figure out where I'm at. It says, I wrote, your journey is your journey. Progress is progress. Set proper expectations for yourself. Everyone's progress is going to look different. So, anyways, this is what I try to tell most of the people I work with is, your skinny is not my skinny. My fit is not your fit. I tend to hold on to weight in different places than others. I'm also tall. I'm like 5'8", so my weight is dispersed in different areas. Someone that's 5'3" is not going to look like me. I'm not going to look like someone that's 5'3". So comparing ourselves, and I think with social media, you do get stuck in comparing yourself to other people. That does hurt our mindset because, like I said, I'm not going to look like the next person. You're not going to look like the next person. So just keep that in mind. Keep your goals straight, positive reinforcement, and let's start posting our wins, our goals, what we had in mind in the group, and we can cheer each other on. So anyways, that is all I'm going to say for mindset. I want to get into macros because there's a lot to cover with this, and I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to hold y'all up for too long, but I'm also going to read this because macros equals the energy-giving components of food that fuels our body. That includes proteins, fats, and carbs, which when you got your custom macros, that's what we break down for you, and your 25 grams of fiber. But the main things, we need all three macros every single day. It is important to hit our macro goals and minimums every single day for healthy metabolism, hormone maintenance, and energy. So all three play a role. All three need to be a part of each other. I'm going to start with carbs because carbs are 40% of our macro goals, and a lot of people that have started this program are coming off of low carb diets, and carbs are not the enemy. Carbs are what fuels the body, and actually a low carb diet can lead to being low energetic. Carbs are good. So we need carbs every day. Healthy carbs, that is, our sweet potatoes, our quinoa. You can have regular potatoes, brown rice, healthy carbs. We need carbs to stay energized and to balance hormones. And, obviously fruits and vegetables also contain carbs, but just not like our complex carbs. So, anyways, we need them to sustain in life. And, anyways, they are important because they are the body's primary and preferred fuel source. So when we consume carbs, our bodies transition the carbs into glucose, and then they're stored. The glucose is stored in our muscle. That is the first fuel source that we use when we move. So when we're working out, we're going to use those that are stored first. Not all carbs are created equal, which is what I was saying a while ago. Potatoes, beans, peas, oats, quinoa, rice. Obviously, cakes, donuts, all those are carbs, but those are not the carbs I'm talking about. We want complex carbs, which are digested slower. And simple carbs are the ones that a sprinter would eat right before a race. They're going to eat something that gives them a sugar, because that carb breaks down as a sugar, and they're off. But we want to eat the more complex carbs that are going to digest slower and keep us fuller longer. Fruit. A lot of people that are on those low carb diets are like, oh, I can't eat an apple, I can't eat banana. Yes, they contain carbs. It's a different type of carb. You just want to make sure it fits within your macros. So those carbs are fine. Like I said, today's a low carb day, so you don't really want to just eat a bunch of fruits and fruits, really, meaning the apples and bananas and all that. But we want to stick with where it ranges within our macros. So also, carbs help regulate our blood sugar and our insulin. Insulin is a transport hormone, and it's important because it shuttles the protein, vitamins, minerals into your cells. And it's also a master hormone. It turns on hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and you need carbs to facilitate all these processes. So again, carbs are important. Carbs are not bad. Carbs are only bad when you treat them bad and when you're eating the wrong type of carb, like my fried french fries. So, anyways, I wrote this down because I did have a bad, complex about carbs because of low carb diets. But some of my favorite high carb snacks are the gluten-free, oatmeal with some fruit, or an acai bowl or smoothie bowl. yogurt with fresh fruit and granola, rice cakes with some nut butter on top. That would be good for today because today is a high fat day and I love peanut butter, nut butter, and sweet potatoes. I eat a sweet potato. My husband told me I was going to turn into a sweet potato because I eat a sweet potato almost every day. Maybe not the whole thing, but at lunch I do normally. I put it in my air fryer and I eat. No, what is going on with my life? I eat a sweet potato. Okay. Anyways, so quick review. Carbs aren't bad. We need them. If you struggle with needing to know what a good carb and a bad carb is, there is a chart in the app, and it's a carb cheat sheet. There's cheat sheets for all of the main macros. So you can get that there. I can also post it if it hasn't already been posted in the group. So moving on to protein. Obviously, protein is probably the biggest one. It is our number one macro that we need to be focused on because protein is what's going to build your muscle. It is what is, it's the most important one. So we must consume enough protein if we want to see body composition changes. I have always worked out. I played soccer through college, and honestly, and maybe, I went to college, I graduated in 2010, so a long time ago, but they don't teach you any kind of nutrition. They don't teach you anything, and I think athletes, like looking back, if they were taught how to properly eat, and based off of macros, there wouldn't be so many injuries because, and in college you want to be skinny, you want to, do all the things, and that's just not healthy. So anyways, for workouts, if you work out all day long on a daily basis, but you're not consuming enough protein, you're not going to build any type of lean muscle. It doesn't matter how much you're working out. So you got to consume enough to develop muscle to maximize your metabolism. And protein is also used to build and repair tissues. It is the building block of muscle, bone, skin, cartilage, and blood. Protein is the only macronutrient that will increase our metabolism when we eat it. So protein equals lean muscle equals max metabolism. So it also keeps us full and satisfied longer. And we need it to protect and preserve our lean muscle when the fuel reserves are low, as well as build and maintain lean muscle mass when our fuel reserves are high. And we also need protein to heal, and it plays a role in our immune function. So we want to base basically our meals around our protein. You want to have add your protein first, and then build your food, the rest of your food, around your main protein source. You also want to eat your protein first. Make sure you're consuming your protein before you eat your carbs and your fats. So protein, I cannot talk, y'all. Protein plays an essential role in making enzymes that will break down the food we eat, making hormones, providing structure to hair, skin, and nails. Protein is found in all meat, poultry, fish, seafood, eggs, plant-based products like peas, beans, lentils, and there's some in nuts and seeds. You're not going to get a ton of protein source from those. Those are more of the fats, but you can, obviously, if you read an ingredient label, you're going to see grams of protein in nuts and seeds. So if you're on the go a lot, I know vacations are coming up, travel's coming up, moms that have kids in sports, protein bars and shakes are fine to supplement with. They're easy for on the go. You just want to make sure it's a clean bar, a clean shake, not something that's just full of sugars and just crap, because most of them that probably taste like a milkshake are, and that's what I've kind of found with protein shakes. You can be like, oh, I'm just having a protein shake, but there's nothing in there good for you. So you want to make sure you're eating something that's actually clean. And if you need recommendations for those, Aloha bars are good, and there's a few different protein powders, and if you are interested, me or Ashley can get you that information. Anyways, like I was saying earlier, it is important to have protein at every meal, and you want to start your day with a significant amount of protein. Most people don't include any or enough protein in their meal. So, like I was saying, you plan your protein first, then you work in the carbs, the veggies, the healthy fats, and then you can supplement if needed with a protein powder or a bar. And then, like I was saying earlier, if you are unsure about the measurements, I know that our Faster Way app now has a picture where you can, take a picture of your food and it calculates it. But I actually bought a scale to calculate my protein even further, because sometimes I don't know if it's calculating if it's cooked or not. So the scale I bought was off of Amazon. It was pretty cheap. So anyways, because your protein loses about 25% of its weight in the cooking process. So that's why I bought the scale. Just so I could make sure I was getting enough protein in. So anyways, that's it for protein. Moving on to fats. When you are thinking about calculating fats, you're like, fats are going to make me fat, but the fats that I am talking about are not going to make you fat. So we need healthy fats in our diet. You need them every day. Obviously, they're less on our grams of our percentage, other than on our low carb days, which are higher fat content. So dietary fat has many functions in the body. It helps in stores and provides us with energy. It helps transport fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that we need to eat fat with our veggies in order to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins. So it also provides, I'm talking about dietary fat. It also provides and makes and helps balance your hormones and regulates your mood. And it helps form our brain, nervous systems, and cell membranes. It acts as a buffer for carb absorption. Insulin response creates a mellow response of blood sugar and insulin. And when you pair fat with carbs, there is no rapid spike in your blood sugar. And it's important to have with all meals. So, fats also help keep us full and satisfied. And it's also important to understand that the consumption of dietary fat, like I just said, does not make you fat. Eating fat does not become body fat. The kind of fat that is much more important than how much fat you eat. So you want to focus on like coconut oils, olive oils, nuts, seeds, the fatty fishes like salmon, any darker fish, avocados. I eat an avocado every time we have low carb days. I love avocados, so I do miss them on days that we don't get as much fats, but definitely if that's something you like, avocados are great for Mondays and Tuesdays. Eggs, beef, all those. So anyways, if you've been following the meal plan though, that's given to you in the Faster Way app, it only follows whole foods, healthy fats, proteins, carbs, all of that. So you've already been eating the healthy fats, because they're not going to give you something that's not healthy. So anyways, you want to avoid, if you're reading a label, the fats that are vegetable oil, canola oil, margarine, shortening, and any other like label created fat. That's just not going to be good for our diet. So we want to stay away from those. And refined oils cause inflammation and chronic disease. So that's why we want to stick with the healthy fats. I did also, when I started, I bought a olive oil. It's over in my pantry, but it's like a cooking spray oil, and you can actually spray it on foods as well instead of drizzling oil. And I found that to be easy, and it comes in a spray bottle like the Pam would, but it's not Pam. So anyways, also, like I said earlier, you need all three of these: proteins, fats, and carbs. All three nutrients come from a variety of foods, and you need them every single day. So that's really our main takeaway from this, is to know that them all together is going to be the best thing for you. And like I said, a lot of us in these older diets, low carb was the way to go, or low calorie, you know, we probably all have done it all, but all three of these and within your macros are going to be what's best for you. So throughout this week, I'm going to be posting more about macros and food suggestions, some recipes. If y'all have any recipes, or, you know, something that you've cooked and you just love and it fits within your macros, feel free to share it anytime. I don't love to cook, so I'm all about ease. I like the sheet pan meals that are veggies, the carbs, the protein all in one, and stick it in the oven and be done with it. Cooking is just not my thing, but anyways, I have found that you can eat that way on this and you still get what you need in your diet. So, but I would love some new recipe ideas, because I am willing to try them. I just don't love to cook. So anyways, also to keep in mind, we are doing gluten-free, dairy-free if possible, because what we want to know in our body is less bloat, better digestion, clearer skin, less inflammation. And that's, you know, after the 6 weeks, you can decide if you want to stay gluten and dairy free. If you are following the meal plan the Faster Way gives you, you're already doing that. But for the 6 weeks, let's just try to do that. So if we do reintroduce any of those, you know, cheeses, the milk, all that to our, and the flour to our diet, excuse me, that we can decide if it's what was causing any inflammation or digestive problems that we were having. So, cheese-wise, though, if you do have to have it, feta, goat cheese is fine, because it is a goat's cheese, not a cow cheese, if that makes sense. I think I'm saying that wrong. I'm not saying that wrong, but I might not be saying it the right way. So also almond milk, coconut milk. If you drink coffee, need creamer suggestions, because I can't really drink black coffee or don't love it. Let us know. We can give you some suggestions for that. So anyways, one last thing before I let y'all go is our rest and recovery. The rest and recovery is the key piece to really any kind of workout plan. And a lot of people think it's, you know, 7 days a week you have to do something, and that's not true. It's one of the key pieces in having a healthy metabolism, happy hormones, leaner body. They are critical to your success, and it's really a non-negotiable. Here at the Faster Way, we have 2 active recovery days, and if you notice in the app, it's normally yoga, a core circuit, Pilates. You can do a walk. You can do both, because I think yoga yesterday was like 20 minutes, and then I walked for 10, 15 minutes. I just did it real quick before church. So you want to make sure that you're resting your body. If you're sick, rest. Don't try to force anything. If you don't feel well, rest, because doing it sick is, you're just not going to get anything out of it, and your body's going to be like, what are you trying to do to me? So anyways, even though you're resting, you're still going to eat your macros. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm not working out, so I can't have this. You're going to eat your regular macros, stay on track with your food plan, but take the rest, because your body needs it, especially if you're doing the what would be 5 days of workouts. If you're building up to 5 days, still take the rest. And if we restrict our macros and our calories, a big bug just flew by, we're not going to be able to build muscles. So like I said, you want to make sure that you're still consuming the right amount of macros and calories on those rest days. And also, I just mentioned you can go for a walk, but you can also hike, you can swim, because, you know, summertime's coming up, so a bunch of pools are going to be open. So swimming is a great, it's a great workout, but it's also a good active recovery. You can just walk up and down the pool or do some stretches in the pool. You can also stretch on your own, do your own kind of active recovery, but there is active recovery days already built in the workout play button, and that will come up on your home screen. So I did say that was the last thing I was going to talk about, but this is going to be the last thing. As y'all have kind of noticed, the Faster Way has each day laid out. It's a cycle, and you know, if you travel and there's like a day that you can't do upper body, so that's our Thursdays, you can move it to Friday. That's fine. The only day, and you can move around the other days, but the only 2 days that need to be paired with our low carb days are our HIIT days. That's HIITs go with low carb. That's the only days that cannot be moved around. So our HIIT days, like I said, low carb is Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturdays regular macro strength. Friday, Sundays recovery. And like I said, if you need to move around any of the days, you can. They're flexible, but the HIIT in the low carb. So keep that in mind. Also, it's not recommended. If you're doing the Faster Way workouts, that is more than enough. There's no need to go to like Orange Theory or go do a spin class or go do anything else. If you love a spin class, do that in place of a Faster Way workout. Or if you love that Orange Theory, do it in place of the workout for that day, because you don't want to be doing both and overtrain your body, and it's just not sustainable to do that because your body's not going to be able to keep up after a while. So you can replace the days, but just make sure you're doing one or the other and not both. And then like I said, on the rest days, no need to lower your calorie intake. So anyways, I know I covered a lot tonight. If you have any questions or want to reach out, if I didn't explain something right, just let me know, and I will give you more information or help you. But I hope y'all have a great rest of your Monday night. And like I said, sorry it's a little later getting on here than normal. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And tomorrow's another HIIT day and another low carb day. So anyways, like I said, start reaching out, posting in the group, post your daily macros. We would love to hear from you and cheer you on. So I hope y'all have a great night. Bye, guys.